about powerlessness and unmanageability?
That I am powerless over this substance. This substance has power over me in the sense that I have said 1,000 times that I will stop this thing, yet I keep going back to it, to the point where actually I've smoked and drank every single day. So that thing has taken power over my ability to say no to it. So I am powerless over it. It has taken over me.
Can you explain what powerlessness means in the context of addiction?
Absolutely. Powerlessness is a tricky topic, but it must be understood in the aspect of healing from addiction, addictive behavior, substance, drugs, alcohol, whatever. Powerlessness, when I hear that as a man especially, but when I hear that as an individual, so what do you mean I'm powerless? I'm powerless over this thing. I'm powerless over this addictive behavior. I see myself as a very powerful individual. I'm human. I want to be powerful. I want to be powerful over my own life and the way it's going, the way it's leading. That's kind of human nature, right? And especially as an addict that's driven in ego and control, it's definitely a factor in one's life. The majority of the time I've yet to come across where one isn't thinking that they're coming from a powerful place and living their life, and actually their addiction is leading their life, right? So in that awareness piece, that admittance piece, also admitting that I am powerless over this substance. This substance has power over me in the sense that I have said 1,000 times that I will stop this thing, yet I keep going back to it. That could be with my phone too. That could be with staying up too late, scrolling. I've said it 1,000 times. I'm going to go to bed and stop watching Netflix, or scrolling on social media, and yet I don't, and it impacts me the next day. Same things with drugs or alcohol. I'm only going to drink on the weekends. I'm only going to smoke a few times this week and get high a few times this week, to the point where actually I've smoked and drank every single day. So that thing has taken power over my ability to say no to it, my ability to put it to the side. So I am powerless over it. It has taken over me. And that is necessary to understand how much that has taken over my life, to the point of negatively impacting it and bringing on destruction and that blaze of fire that I speak to.
How does powerlessness over addiction differ from feeling powerless over other aspects of your life, such as relationships or work?
So from this place of powerlessness, I think that I have power over the substance, right? I can put it away, but actually I cannot. That's the powerlessness as it relates to people, places, and things. I am also powerless over how people show up, how things are. I'm powerless. From my addictive state, I also, underneath that, is a control. I want to control things. I want to control how others show up instead of take responsibility and control how I show up and respond to those things. So there's an element of my own recovery and working in sobriety, that in the healing process, it's necessary to realize that I am powerless over how others show up in my life, how things are. Because when I focus and fixate on how others should be, how the world should show up, instead of how I should show up in this world, it leaves me powerless to be able to change what I'm doing. If I put the power outside of myself, and it has affected me to the point of not being okay with it, to the point of being frustrated, angry, and from that emotional overwhelm, then I need to use and drink and drown that out. Then it's this cycle of destruction, and it's a web that needs to be disentangled for true healing to occur. So understanding that you're not only powerless to drugs, but you're also powerless over to people, places, and things. From that place, which acceptance has to come in order to be the antidote to that powerless. I accept that I am powerless over drugs and alcohol. They control me. From that place, I can change. I accept that I am powerless how others show up. Then I can step into my own power and show up the way in order to respond to life instead of life consume me.
What does unmanageability look like in someone's life? How did you come to the realization that your life had become unmanageable?
So unmanageability is another necessary aspect of healing from addiction. And it is just as subtle and sneaky as powerlessness. But when I've realized that I'm powerless over this compulsive addictive behavior that is having negative consequences in my life, I start to quickly realize, if I look at my life honestly, How are my relationships? How's my personal well-being? How's my emotional well-being? How is my work performance? How is my health and fitness? If I really look at those aspects of my life, is this addictive behavior impacting those aspects of my life? And that's where the unmanageability is subtly hidden. Sometimes it's very apparent. I am financially broke, and because of the result of my addiction, therefore my finances are completely unmanageable. Then my levels of stress because of that are completely unmanageable. I have been hungover and I can't wake up, therefore my work performance is unmanageable. My relationship with my partner is unmanageable. My ability to show up for my kids is completely unmanageable. I'm foggy, I'm emotionally not there, I'm tired. So there can be very apparent unmanageability in one's life, but there's very subtle unmanageability too. Is this repetitive behavior affecting my ability to go to sleep on time like I said I would? Or am I sitting up scrolling? Am I sitting up drinking and using? Am I sitting up, smoking, and therefore I can't go to bed and I don't get enough sleep? Then I wake up tired and with the inability to perform to the best of my ability that day. That's the subtle forms of unmanageability. Or I have an appointment or a commitment to somebody and I'm sitting there checking my phone 1,000 times to the point where I'm late, and or I'm hungover and I can't show up to the business meeting the next day, or I'm not thinking clearly. There's so many subtle forms of unmanageability that start off small and then they grow to the point of becoming very apparent in one's life. So breaking down, like, how is one's life unmanageable truly, and shining that back to them to be like, oh, this is taken over. I am powerless over it, and as a result, my life has become completely unmanageable. And from that place, again, healing can occur.
How do powerlessness and unmanageability feed into each other, and how can recognizing these concepts help someone start their healing journey?
Yeah, I mean, I've already spoken of how the powerlessness over this addictive compulsive behavior feeds into one's life, and the negative consequences creates the unmanageability. But like I said, it is going back to the awareness and the admittance. Once you take this broader version, when you stop the behavior, you start to clear your mind and you're able to step back and look at how it's affecting your life. How is the powerlessness ruling you, not you ruling it? And then how has your life become unmanageable? Boom, you have more awareness. So your awareness is growing more and more and more, and it gives you the ability to step back from the actual negative behavior and the consequences that are happening. So it's paramount. And from that place, like I've said, that is the crux, and that is the starting point for even deeper healing to occur. So things that would come after that is like my inability to emotionally respond to life is another point of unmanageability. But the further you get back from the addictive compulsive behavior, you get to look at these other aspects of your life where deeper healing, deeper awareness, deeper admittance can come in, and it grows from there. And that's where the fun happens. That's where the real healing starts. Yeah.
In your coaching experience, how do you guide fathers to acknowledge their powerlessness, and how do you help them regain control of their lives?
Yeah, it's getting really raw, honest, and truthful that you are living in a disempowered way as a result of XYZ behavior, and it is affecting you in this manner. And once that truth is landed in somebody, then, like I've said, from that place, it doesn't mean that you are not a powerful person, because everybody at their core is powerful in their own right, especially when they're living in their truth, connected to themselves. So it's looking at what yourself truly is without this in your life and stepping into that empowered version of yourself. And the journey there is, of course, it's a journey, right? That's where that's where my work is in the meat of disentangling from living in the disempowered way, where powerlessness and unmanageability are very present in your life. Going through the healing journey, being able to control the emotions that keep you stuck to that addictive, repetitive cycle. That's the journey into the empowered version, the truth of who one is, and connected to their emotions, connected to their purpose, living happy, joyously, vibrating, radiating from that place. So that's the alchemy that happens. That's the magic and the work that happens, and that's the beauty, the journey from this low, disempowered self to the powerful, honest, living in integrity, happy version of oneself. Boom.